Good morning, everybody. How you doing? This is Pastor Bo Wagner. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to January 6th. You're going to be hearing a lot about that on the news today, so I wanted to say a few things as well. This is a little something I wrote called Why January 6th is the Political Left's Santa Claus. Our story begins way back in AD 270. That was the year Nicholas of Bari was born. You likely know him by a much more famous name, though, St. Nick. During his lifetime, Nicholas developed a reputation that grew through wild embellishments after his death, for giving gifts to others. A little wonder, then, that his legend grew into what we now know as Santa Claus. But what, pray tell, does all this have to do with January 6? For those blissfully ignorant of political drama in our modern world, January 6, 2020 was the day that a protest was held in Washington, D.C. over the outcome of the presidential election. Depending on who one viewed as reputable sources, Donald Trump either lost the presidential election or was cheated out of it by massive systemic voter fraud. But the point of this isn't to examine and answer that question. The point of this is to demonstrate how January 6 is, in fact, a picture-perfect model of Santa Claus to the political left. So let's do this in numerical order, shall we? 1. St. Nick somehow went from being a pretty average guy to literally being the biggest thing going in the minds of most of the world. January 6th is the same. America has seen protests where cities were pretty much burned to the ground. Billions of dollars in damage was done, and people were shot and stabbed by mobs in the street. By contrast, from every report I've seen, January 6th saw a gaggle of unarmed people, unless you count the buffalo horns, the weird painted dude as a weapon, calmly walking through the Capitol building. It was a day of smiling selfies rather than smoldering cities, and yet it's been repeatedly referred to by the political left as worse than 9/11. Now let that sink in. Granny and company toddling through the Capitol are somehow worse than 2 jetliners being flown into the trade centers, murdering 3,000 innocent people and doing hundreds of billions of dollars of damage and forever changing the world. Number 2, St. Nick died in AD 343 and yet is still very much alive today in the person of Santa Claus. January 6 will be absolutely the same. If there are Democrats on Earth 2,000 years from now, if we've gone through 9 more world wars by that time, January 6 will still be alive and well to Democrats. Number 3, there was a real St. Nick and there's a mythological Santa Claus that has grown from him, and the two are nothing alike. January 6 is absolutely the same. Did people commit crimes on January 6? Well, some certainly did, and on camera. Trespassing immediately comes to mind, and even apart from crimes, just the stupidity involved was pretty breathtaking. But when you close your eyes and listen to the way the left describes it, and then open your eyes and look at the actual footage, the two things are every bit as different as St. Nick and Santa Claus. Number 4, Santa Claus has become the giver of gifts and granter of wishes for all good little boys and girls. January 6 is the same. Naturally, all the good little boys and girls are Democrats. Everyone else is on the naughty list. And all those Democrats on the nice list need only ask their political Santa January 6, and all of their wishes are granted. Want to keep Trump off the ballot next time? January 6. Want to shut down free speech? January 6. Want to label every Republican as extremist even though 99.99999% of them weren't even there? January 6. Number 5, people who will not reverence anything else will reverence Santa Claus. January 6 is the same. For years, Democrats have smeared America, the Founding Fathers, the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, the Pledge of Allegiance, the flag, and any displays of patriotism. And yet now they're simply aghast at such an un-American thing as January 6. And there's no solution to any of this, simply because the same thing that gets one past believing in Santa will be required to get a person past believing this January 6 nonsense that's being spun. Growing up. God bless you. Have a great day.